As is our tradition for the June meeting, we have field day coming up. We got a lot of logistics. We got a lot of details. I unfortunately can't attend because I'm going to be off in Never Never Land with the Western States. But to fill us all in kind of roundtable style, Gerry's going to walk us through as kind of MC for a set of presentations and discussions on field day. With that, Gerry, take it away.
Okay, Greg, thank you very much. Excuse me. This is Gerry WA6E, and for some time I've been chairing the Field Day Committee. Fortunately, not by myself. We've had some great folks to help in. I thought I'd give you kind of an overview of it and then let the experts in the various fields give you the details of what's going on. This is the last time you'll have to hear about Field Day, at least when it's prospective before the event. It happens on Saturday and Sunday, June 26th and 27th. Setup actually begins on Friday at 11 a.m. and it'll be at the Georgetown Airport. For those of you who aren't familiar with Field Day, this is something that started back in the 1930s, 33 to be precise, by the National Association of Ham Radio, which was a predecessor to the ARRL. They basically wanted to give everybody a chance to go out in the field and test their emergency communications capability, to see if they could do emergency responses, to test their skills in setting up equipment and the like, and to some extent socializing. It is the most popular on-the-air event that we have as ham radio operators, and we really enjoy doing it. Now, last year we did it kind of at home because of COVID, but I have a picture here that I'll put up in my background of Field Day I took a couple of years ago. Nothing can go wrong with this, right? Let's see if I can do this. Here we go. This is Field Day a couple of years ago. And so you'll be in a good crowd with all of these folks. All right, I'm busted. That's not Field Day. I was just being funny. But we do have a lot of people up there.
Can you share screen, Gerry? Are you able to share screen?
Oh my, that may darn well cut me off. Let's see here.
Well, if we're going to lose you, never mind.
That's the only slide I have, and I don't think it's worth sharing the screen. Oh, daughter's coming in to show me how?
Yeah, I have tech support if you want it.
No, go away. There you go, Amir, another example of how to handle your daughters. Anyway, it's coming up. We're going to be at the Georgetown Airport. We've got a bunch of guys who are helping out, and they'll be talking about the specific portions. Orion is talking about the antenna setup. Don, LPJ, will be talking about the camping area and setting up the tents. Graydon's not here. I don't think he's checked in. Perhaps Thomas, KN6MJB, can talk about our safety program. And of course, our club favorite, the food. Brian will be in on that, as well as Jim, KQ6VP, if he's checked in tonight. Jim, MPA, will give some FTA tidbits. And then Sal, K6SAL, and Al, N6ADT, will finish it up. They are the first string chairman, and they are taking over for the actual event since I'm out of town. So this is the event that you want to be at because it's the thing that divides time in our club. You'll hear people talking, well, was that before Field Day or after Field Day? So this is a real big deal. We will have 4 stations. We'll have antennas to go with them. If you're not licensed in the HF band, come anyway, because you can operate the stations under the control of a licensed operator for that band, and you can dip your fingers into the HF ether and see what it feels like. You don't have to operate, you can watch. Maybe you want to do some logging. Jim, MPA, has all the logging equipment set up, and he'll tell you about that along with his FT8 stuff. It's quite an operation. We did take and ask for RSVPs on the website. The purpose for that was so that we could get a sense of how much food to buy. If you did not RSVP and you decide you want to come up for 10 minutes or an hour or two or all day, come on up. My goodness, come on up. And if you can't come up and you still want to participate, you can participate from home like we did last year and then submit your log as part of the W6EK Sierra Foothills Amateur Radio Club. So it's going to be a lot of fun. If you have an RV, you can bring it up. There's space for camping. There'll be flags telling you where to turn to get to the radio site. There's also a talk-in frequency, 146.43, no PL. Hopefully we'll have somebody manning that station who's not busy on the air doing something else. But Georgetown Airport, fly in, drive in, paddle your canoe. We don't care how you get there. But a lot of folks have put a lot of effort into this, and it's going to be a ball. I wish I was there. Brian, you have anything to add before I give it over to Ryan to describe the antenna complex?
Yeah, I was just going to say, you don't need an RV to come up. Bring your tent, bring your hammock, bring your rollout. It's a wonderful campground up there. Full bathrooms, hot and cold water, flushing toilets, and a hot shower to boot. It's a lovely campground, quite a bit of shade, good areas to pitch tents, as well as small RVs, campers, and the large RVs will be facilitated over on the apron. So, don't think that you have to have a big mega RV or anything at all. Just come on up and enjoy it.
Okay, now word of advice, just among us club members, don't go out and tell all the other clubs that we had running showers, hot water, coffee, and all that kind of stuff there. Tell them that we were roughing it, and it was in the greatest tradition of field day. We had to hand crank generators to make power and so forth. Also, don't get used to this. I've never been to a field day where we had hot showers, but this is roughing it the W6EK way. So with that, Orion, would you like to tell everybody what you've done to set up all the antennas and what we'll be doing to get HF onto the air?
I thought I'd first start off just kind of give everybody a lay of the land. You're looking at the Georgetown Airport. North is off to your right, and you enter the airport on your left where it says your airport entrance. If you're bringing a RV up, be sure to RSP and let everybody know. But if you're bringing an RV, you're going to stay on the paved road, and then you'll have an RV access gate right about here.
And that's the big RVs.
The big RVs, and large Class Cs. Class Bs, man, you guys got to go over the rest of everybody else, which is, as soon as you get past the gate, you make a left-hand turn, you follow the yellow brick road, and there'll be signs taking you there, and you will run along the west side of the airport to the field day site. Field day site is basically, we have parking in this area here. You can see we have our camping area up here in the gray area. There's restrooms with the hot showers over here on the right. We have the greeter table. We'll have a kind of a gathering area, barbecue, food tent, and then our operating stations will be in this general area over here. Since this map was done, the power plant is now going to be behind the restroom. So we'll update this map. Any questions so far on the layout? Okay, let's go on to the antenna plan. We will be putting up 9 different antennas. We will have an 80-meter doublet, probably 70 plus feet in the air. Here's another 80-meter doublet, generally right over the top of our heads. Again, probably 70 or so feet in the air. We'll have a hex beam, which operates 20, 15, and 10 meters. We will have various UHF and VHF antennas, 6 meters, 2 meters, 1.2 gig. We will have a 40-meter beam. We will have a 20-meter beam by ARRL N680T, and then we will have a 160-foot or 160-meter end-fed that's going to be donated by KC3PO. So when you arrive on Friday and you're going to be part of the setup crew, so far we have 25 RSVPs. About 12 of you are going to help us with the antennas. We'll divide you into 4 groups. Brian will be group 1 with his antenna launcher, pneumatic antenna launcher. I'll be in group 2 with my pneumatic antenna launcher. And then we have a special guest today or this year, Sal, K6SAL. He will have a drone there to help us put antennas along with his daughter. And then Al, N680T, you'll be part of the antenna crew setting up your antenna over here. Any questions so far? That's basically antenna setup. That's it. Back to you, Gerry.
Okay, Ryan, great job. Thank you for doing that. It looks like a lot of fun. Don, WB6LPJ, are you with us tonight?
I am.
Would you like to talk about the arrangements for camping and tents and the like?
Sure, let's do that. Orion, if you could throw your slide back up there that shows the grouping of all of the pop-ups. Oh, thank you. Now that differs somewhat from what I have on my information. However, that's not a big deal. What I wanted to cover was the number of pop-ups that we will need. We appear to be one short. So what I want to do is just take some time. Everybody here that has talked about bringing a pop-up seems to be with us. So what I'm going to do is just call out those people that are bringing pop-ups. If there's an issue, can you please break in and let me know? Brian is bringing one 10 by 10. Chip is bringing two 10 by 10s. Al is bringing one 10 by 10. I am bringing two 10 by 10s. And the club is providing two 10 by 20 foot pop-ups. Now that leaves us actually one short. Now, is KD6HOF, Tim, are you on tonight? KD6HOF?
I haven't seen him.
I have
Don?
not. Yep, yes.
This is Jim WA8MPA. I also have two 10-footers.
Would you mind bringing those up?
No, I bring them every year.
Thank you.
Don N680L, I have a question. Will the stations be providing their own pop-ups and shelters, or are those going to be set up during setup?
Yeah, let me go ahead and cover that. Basically, what I've been asked to do is go ahead and see that the pop-ups have been set up in their correct locations. I've asked everybody providing pop-ups in an email earlier to provide, ropes for tie downs. However, our safety officer had some concerns about that. So I think we've agreed that we want to use only stakes on the 4 feet. So I'd like to change that request to people providing stakes for the feet of their pop-ups rather than rope. Jeff, if you bring two, that will be just fine. So what is basically my understanding is the people that are bringing the stations are responsible for the tables. And at last note, I had that Graydon was providing the power, and he was also going to extend power to all of the operational areas, operation tables.
I'll do a correction on that. Jim, WA8 MPA, will be doing the distribution, and Scott, KK7AIR, is providing the power plant and all cabling to bring 50 amps. Yes, 50 amps down to our area. So I think we will have an adequate power.
Brian in 680L, I have a question. Will the stations be allowed, or would it be ill-advised, one or the other, I guess, if we set up a surge protector at our station to power not only our power supply for the radio, but maybe like a laptop?
Don, can I answer that?
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, so each station is completely responsible for their power supply, for the radio, and we will provide the coax and the filter. And so each station will just be provided standalone operation off of 110 power.
Okay, so will we be allowed to use, if you're just pulling over like a single extension cord, can I put a surge protector on it so I could sit
Of
there with
course.
my, okay, that was my question. I just didn't know if there was a concern for power. It sounds like there isn't with 50 amps, but just clarifying. Thank you so much.
Brian, you might want to also clarify that when you say filter, you're talking about the band filters for HF, right?
That is correct. So
Yeah,
we
not the 110 filters of some sort.
That is correct. We will provide a power drop to each station location, a selection of coax depending on what band and what antenna you want to work, along with a filter for the band that you're going to be authorized to use. And so each station will be responsible for their power supply and their radio and microphone. And then we're asking each participant who wants to use headsets to bring their own headset, and that was addressed in the email.
So Brian, did you want me to go over the list of who's supplying radios? Is there any reason to do that, or are we sure that everybody on the list knows? I'm assuming if they're bringing a radio that we have a list, current list here.
Yeah, I think we don't really need to go who's bringing them, but definitely maybe go through the radios that we're going to have on location.
Okay, I didn't specifically look down the list. Looks like, so basically, from my understanding is we are duplicating 2019 setup, which doesn't mean a hill of beans for anybody that wasn't there. But there's not going to be a go-to station, so.
Yeah, so what we're going to have is a 991A. We're going to have two 7300s, a 1200, and a 9700. So the 9700 is going to be our VHF UHF radio, and then two 7300s, a 1200, and a 991A.
I have a question, Brian, if I will, N6ADL. I think I heard Orion mention earlier, I may have been mistaken, but I think I heard him mention that he's going to put a 1.2 gig antenna up for the VHF UHF station. Is that QSL?
Yes, we're going to be putting up UHF and VHF antennas for a 2 meter, 440, and 1.2 gig, as well as 6 meters.
Okay, copy that. Thank you.
I guess I don't really have anything else, Brian. Although I do see on the list here that Herb, I'm sorry, Tim, KD6HOF, also listed that he's got a 7300 that he was going to be bringing. Mm-hmm. But again, I don't know. I haven't had any contact with him, so I'm not sure whether that's still the plan.
Okay, and it does not hurt to have a couple spares.
Okay, very good. Thanks, Don. Appreciate that. And this year we will also have a safety officer. In addition to being a logical addition, we get extra points for our contest results by having a safety officer. Graydon, KC6SLE, undertook that along with Thomas, KN6MJB, and they've been doing a real great job of making sure that we're not going to have any problems, especially fires out there. Graydon, I believe, is in Colorado at a Rambler convention. Thomas, are you here by any chance? Okay, well, take it on faith then that we will be safe. Food. Everybody wants to know about food. We have Brian, who will be providing breakfast on Saturday and Sunday. And Jim, KQ6VP, will be doing the honors on Saturday night. And Friday night, we're just going to take up a collection and somebody will go over and get a pizza at the local pizza place. Jim, are you with us by any chance, KQ6VP?
No, he is not, but we chatted.
Okay, very good. He's ready for it. Let's see, we're going to have barbecue chicken, barbecue tri-tip, and I guess pancakes, scrambled eggs, bacon for breakfast, right, Brian?
Pancakes, scrambled eggs, and sausage for breakfast. We're also going to have coffee brewing at all hours of the day. The club is going to be providing waters, and we have iced coolers up there to keep the waters cool. We also will have a snack table, and this is where we're going to ask anybody who comes up to field day if you could just bring an item along, an individually wrapped item, or like a fruit, or whether it be like individual packs of cookies or whatever, chips, to put on that table. So during the day, when you want to grab a snack, we'll have something to snack on the table. So we are going to be providing breakfast on Saturday morning, on Sunday morning, throughout the day, throughout Saturday. We'll have the grazing table, and then we will have the all service is going to be provided by the club for the barbecue dinner. And so if you are planning on being up there for any meals, or if you're going to be camping up there, we do ask that you do RSVP. Otherwise, we're just inviting people to come up and enjoy the day with us.
The reason for the individually wrapped food was we wanted to have something for people to munch on all day, but we still are not out from underneath the COVID cloud. So this was our way of paying respect to that potential conflict and trying to keep people as safe as we can. So we'll do what we can. Jim, WA6E MPA, sorry, Jim, wrong state. Tell us about your FT8 tricks and logging, if you would, sir.
Okay, great. Do you hear me okay? Very good. Some of you may not know what FT8 is. FT8 is a digital mode, one that we're going to take advantage of this year. Herb KM6 JBI is going to be bringing his 991A up, and we're going to be using it to use with some really nice software. Just for a little background, Joe Taylor out of Princeton and Stephen Frank, a buddy of his, created FT8, hence the F and the T. The 8 comes from the fact that there are 8 tones involved in this digital format. They are 6.25 hertz each. And you multiply that by 8, you come up with a 50 hertz bandwidth. That's the bandwidth for HT8. It's a 15-second cycle for receive and transmit. So you can do a QSO in 1 minute. And WS stands for weak signal. Those of us that like to practice this mode, we like to use low power. Every once in a while, you'll get somebody trying to run 1500 watts for a WS signal, which is really not, appropriate, I think. But anyway, for contesting, our software this year is N3FJP. It has a mode that we can use along with the WS software, and we're going to use the field day mode. We're going to be able to auto log. In other words, when you make a contact with your WSJT software, it will go ahead and speak over to the logging program and help log it for us. We can use FT8 on anything from 160 to 2 meters. You can't use the Warwick bands, however. So 17 meters, for example, is offline or not available for ARRL contesting on this mode. If you're not familiar with the digital mode itself, if you're a CW operator, you can work signals that you can never work with sideband or AM or FM. Well, if you're in WS land, you can work at least 10 dB below the weakest CW signals. It's phenomenal. Night before last, I worked Singapore running 10 watts about 10 o'clock in the evening, and that's 9,000 miles from where we are in Northern California. What we're going to be doing for FT8, if you normally operate on that mode, you know that there are certain segments of the band that are set aside. They're built into the software. Well, for field day, they actually use a different set of spectrum. Basically, they don't want to step on the toes of the normal people that use the normal regions of the bands, but you can still go ahead. For instance, on 14 meter or 20 meters, you can use 14074, but they would suggest that you use 14080. It's just slightly different position. They like to say that's for field day. The regular part of the band is for the normal people who don't get involved in field day and don't want to participate in that kind of activity, but you're allowed to use both. Anyway, with Herb up there and a number of expert FT8 users, we're going to rack up a lot of points. Digital points are worth twice as much as a sideband contact. And the fact that you can do a contact and exchange information in 1 minute, that's pretty phenomenal. So it's going to be the band that basically, or the mode that allows us to produce an awful lot of points on behalf of the club. And if you're doing it at home and you want to add your values of your activities to the club thing, the new software that's out is WSJT just produced 2.4. So if you're using an older version of software, you might want to look into the 2.4 from WSJT. And if you use JT Alert as an adjunct to what you're doing with the WS software, there's a new version of that out too, 2.50. And all this is versions that the old ones work, but the new ones are better integrated for logging and other purposes too, and for contesting. They're really set up for Field Day 2021. So that's it, just in a nutshell. It's a lot of fun. The fact that you can work, I did WAS, I worked all states with 3 watts in about 4 weeks when I got going with FT8. It's a phenomenal mechanism for doing amateur radio. So you'll have a lot of fun doing it. If you haven't tried it before, come up, take a look at Herb's station and get on and enjoy the bit. And so Sal, if you're online here, we'll turn it back over to you. If not, then maybe to Greg.
Question for Jim.
Yeah, go ahead, Greg.
So I think there's a mode or a configuration within FT8 that you set up for Field Day. There's so people work. So at the Field Day site, Herb will have that set up. If you're working at home, set it up for Field Day. It's a special mode under Advanced, I think, or something.
Right. Yeah, you go into Settings in the upper left-hand corner. You go over to the tab that says Advanced, which is the far right-hand tab. When you tab on Advanced, you'll drop down. All the contests are listed. Winter Field Day, normal Field Day, a couple of the other ARRL sponsored events are listed. You just click on Field Day. They'll ask you for the exchange information. For instance, up there in Georgetown, we're going to be 4 Alpha because we've got 4 HF stations, and we're going to be SV for where we are with the valley that we're in. So Sacramento Valley. So if you're in Sacramento Valley area, that's what you're going to be, but you'll be like a 1D or something like that rather than a 4A. So all you do is put that information in and you're golden. You're good to go.
Perfect. Thank you.
I have a question, Jim, in 6ADL. Will the club be doing any VHF, UHF, FT8? Because the 9700's latest firmware is very well integrated. It has a new icon for FT8. So we have an opportunity there. I just wanted to know if that's something that we're going to be doing.
The 991A that Herb is providing for this is covers 6 meters. So we'll be at the V end of things, but not at the U end of things. And actually I worked 2 6-meter stations today, FT8. I'm a WA8 call, and I got a guy that jumped back on me in a heartbeat with the W6 call. And he was real excited until he found out I was in Colfax because he was in Loomis. So yeah, wasn't the distance he was looking for on 6 meters.
Hey, Jim, could I address Amir's question?
Sure, go ahead.
Yes, Amir, you are going to be operating the UHF VHF spectrum. So if you are interested in exploring FT8 or CW with that radio, I would highly recommend that we do have that standing by, because that is a completely separate station that doesn't count towards our 4 stations. And so it would really be good not to take a working station off of HF and move it over to VHF or UHF if you want to explore those modes.
That's exactly the direction I had in mind, and so as to not sacrifice an HF station, I just wanted to bring it to awareness that it's on the 9700 now in the latest firmware. You could do it before. It's just it's a lot easier. I'll work with Herb offline with that because it sounds like he's an expert on that. So maybe he can walk me and show me the ropes, and then I'll follow up with you guys if you'd like.
All
But
right.
yeah, I intend on that. And then regarding CW, yeah, I'll definitely have my bencher up there, and we can run, the 9700. Anybody that wants to use the keys, welcome to use my key. Unless there's a concern, then if you want to make it, if they have to bring their own. But I mean, I'm comfortable with anyone that wants to use my key. They can use mine, and I could bring extra if you'd like.
Okay, Jim, anything else?
No, that's it. On to Sal.
Okay, Sal is not with us. I think he dropped off. So what we're going to do here is a couple of things. Does anybody want to just quickly address CW and field day? I know that's something, sometimes that seat goes empty overnight. And I just wanted to find out, it's a perfect mode for nighttime use. And do we have some ops that are going to be interested in CW?
Yeah, I will be. This is Don. You'll definitely. That's the only mode I probably would want to work. I'm not going to bother the people on the sideband stations. So.
N680L, Don, I'll partner with you on that. I'm not nearly as capable as you, but I'd enjoy it, and I'm bringing my key, like I said.
What makes you think I'm capable?
Yeah.
My code is really rusty, but this is, basically CW in field day is fairly easy. Basically, you're going to copy a call and you're going to copy their exchange. So it gets pretty easy. So yeah, be glad to work with you.
And we know Al N680T enjoys CW. We know Wayne W6DT has been prepping for this event. So we're
and Peter also will be operating CW.
Awesome. And there is no reason that
we Earl. Earl is probably
we need Earl.
We need Earl. Yeah.
We need Earl.
Yeah.
So there is no set thing for each one of these stations. We can have multiple running different modes. So, just because we're setting up a station to be the primary 991A, if we have multiple bands opening up, we can have multiple CW stations, multiple digital, wherever the action's at, or wherever the operators want to operate. The key is we have band filters, and those band filters need to be on the radio for the band you're operating, so we don't have interference issues. So if you're holding a band filter in your hand and you have that mode, then that band is yours to operate on. So really looking forward to just ultimate use of this, and hopefully we can keep all the stations going overnight as well.
One thing I want to bring up, Brian, is when we're logging, make sure if you're switching modes, you switch it on the computer. That's always a problem.
Yes, indeed. And so if you're not familiar with N3FJP, you can take a look. We're going to be using the license for the club. But if you want to take a look at it, you can download it onto your own computer and just play with it. You're limited on what you can do, how many contacts you can make before you have to purchase it. But definitely take a look at it. It's very simple. It's just a enter tab, and very quick to operate. We have a question about, let's see, somebody asked about slow scan TV. Has anybody ever operated slow scan on a field day?
Takes too long.
It is a pretty long exchange. Yes, indeed.
Got a whole lot of stuff on it.
Mm-mm.
I mean, you can probably read the Morse code across the screen as it goes in.
And Clyde is asking if we've asked permission to use the W6EK call sign. So I will formally do so at this time, Clyde. Clyde, may we use W6EK as the official field day call sign?
Absolutely. We're not supposed to be formal.
I thought we were going to have to cancel field day there for a moment.
Not at all. We got to have the barbecue and the beer.
All right. So I know we've gone through a lot of information here. There are going to be things that we need to do to capture points, like copy the ARRL bulletin. We need to send out a message to our section coordinator. We can get these bonuses. And we had some discussion about, anybody who comes up there, if they're not licensed, we are going to sit them at a radio if they want to, and we're going to Elmer them. That's what Field Day is all about, bringing people up to the radio, giving them a chance to operate. And we've done this very successfully in the past. And what we're going to do, I bought extra pins, quite a few extra pins, in fact, to hand out to first-time operators. So if we have somebody up there who's never been on the radio before and they make their first contacts, we have an ARRL Field Day pin for them. So let's see, had some questions about t-shirts. The t-shirts that you may have ordered already are going to be either delivered up to Field Day, or they're going to be available at my office a few days in advance. And I will let everybody know who ordered as soon as I have those t-shirts, if you want to pick them up for me, or I will bring them to Field Day. Any questions? If not, we are going to have a public information table. And here we go. This is a fun one, guys. Thanks for hanging around.
Thanks, Jim.
Guess what? You have an opportunity to win if you come to Field Day. This is a FT70DR HT. This is a FM and C4 FM HT. And everybody who comes to Field Day and fills out the roster every day. So we're going to have a sign-in sheet at the public information table. And every day, if you're there for one day, you will have one entry. If you're there for all 3 days and you fill out the attendance check-in for that day, then you'll have 2 entries. The next meeting on July 9th, we're going to have a drawing, and you will need to be present, but we're going to be giving away the FT70DR HT to somebody who's come to Field Day, written their name on the sheet that they attended, and come to the next club meeting. So any questions? All right. Boy, I didn't feel the excitement in the air. Are we giving away the wrong thing?
Mute. Everybody's on mute.
All right. So with that, let's see. Any other questions about what to bring? I would definitely say the things that we've pointed out is bring your own chairs, and we've checked out the area. There is quite a bit of shade up there, so if you're concerned about shade, you might bring your own pop-up, but there is a lot of shade under the trees. Jim is going to be setting up a scoring table. So when people visit, they're going to have an opportunity to pick up a brochure about our club. They're going to see what states we've worked and how we're doing in the contest on a monitor, and maybe even the map with the little string on it. That might even show up again. Let's see. Other than that, we just ask that you RSVP if you're going to be up there for meals, so we can make sure we have enough food, we have enough water, and that sort of thing. So any questions?
So Friday weather forecast is as far out as my phone goes, 25% chance of rain.
Awesome.
I don't believe it, but
I don't believe it either.
Yeah. Good luck on that.
Yeah. I liked Al's response.
thought I'd check.
Well, thanks, Greg. Appreciate that. Nothing like a good raw, let's go to Field Day and it's going to rain. At least we don't live in Florida where we know it's going to rain. Okay.
Maybe it'll be heavy dew. Maybe heavy dew.
Boy, if it rained, I would be super surprised. We can't even get a rainstorm now. All right. Anybody have any questions? All right. So far, we have about 55 people have signed up already, RSVP'd to be there, which is awesome. I think 58 was the last count. And then we've had 54 T-shirts sold. So I think that's a good indication, 2 weeks out, that we have that many people already RSVP'd. I anticipate a really good turnout. If you're going to be coming up there for the evening, there could be mosquitoes in the deep recesses of the woods that might come out momentarily for a few hours. So please, bring some bug spray for your personal usage. Always a good idea to maybe bring a jacket because we are up at 2,600 feet. There might be a little cooler than you guys down in the valley are used to. And other than that, bring sunscreen, a nice sun hat, and just be prepared to have fun because we have it at field day. That's for sure.